Hi Rob,
Hello.
how are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, very good.
So tell us about your impressions about the venue and your bag, and just general impressions about Ukraine and everything.
Well, firstly, can I say, and I'll look to you guys here. I'll say it's an honour for us to come to Ukraine. Obviously, I have a link with Ukraine for a long time with writing a book over here, but this is the first time I visit, and it's a really nice country, very nice country. The people are very friendly. The food is really good. The roads, not so good. You know, when you drive the car, there are many holes in the roads. Yeah, in the cities they are very bumpy. But yeah, the you know, it's a pleasure and an honour to be here. The lake, I think, is.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Thanks a lot.
The lake is very nice. I think you know. Let's be serious now. It looks a great venue for a world championship. It looks very fair. It looks very even. It's got some good fish, and it's a test, because if you go to a lake where it's very easy, it's just a race. If you go to a lake that's too hard, it's just luck. We want something that is somewhere in between, where the good teams will work well and work hard and be rewarded. And I think this lake has it. I think it's a really good lake.
As you could probably see, the leading sectors are not the margin sectors.
Yeah.
They can be in the center of the of the zone.
Look, every competitive angler will know that when you put the hand in the draw bag, sometimes the game can be finished. Yes. Because you draw the bad place and it's over. But not here. Okay. And it means that if you are good, you will be rewarded. If you are not so good, then you won't be rewarded. It's all about having a level field. We call it a level playing field in England. This is our saying. It may be similar here, but if at the start everything is even and equal, it's good. And I think here everywhere looks to be very good, very equal, very even. There is nothing that says I have to be here or I need to be there. You can catch fish from any place. So I think the lake is a good lake.
Did you notice that lake is very wind dependent?
It's been difficult. You know, my experience of this is 36 hours. So at the beginning, you know, the first day, we have a little bit of wind like today, and we have very hot sunshine on the back of a number of days of very hot sunshine. Then we have an electrical storm, and then in the night we have a lot of rain, and the next day it's very cold with a strong wind, and today it's very different. So
the weather was breaking.
Everything is different. Everything is different. So it's impossible to see a pattern yet. So you ask me, what do I think? Is it wind dependent? I don't know, because my experience is 36 hours, and in 36 hours we have 3 different weather conditions.
But you managed to catch a big fish.
Well,
Tell us something about that.
Yeah, we're lucky.
You think so?
Maybe. So it's just, you know, there are big fish tactics. Of course there are big fish tactics. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's the tactic. It's always difficult to know.
What about your tactics? Tell us, like in general, what's your tactics?
Well, look, the first thing is it's a brand new lake. So it's not my position to tell anybody how to fish this lake, because there will be guys watching that have fished here a lot more. The issue for me, I think, is that you must be very clear in your mind what you want to do, and you have to be strong. Because if you are confused and you change too much and you don't follow a strategy, this is where you can sometimes catch, sometimes not catch. And, you know, yesterday we caught fish, today we didn't catch fish. Why?
You made some changes?
Maybe we made changes. Maybe we do the same thing and the weather has changed. Maybe the fish move one way or another. Maybe they move further out. My job is to try and spot patterns.
And what about your neighbors? Are they catching today?
The neighbours are catching well today. Sorry, not well today, but they caught well last night, because they did a lot of preparation through the day yesterday. And again, remember, for me, this visit is not just about winning this competition. It's about learning for the World Championships. So we don't have a full team. We're not here to win the competition. We are here to learn as much as possible. And whenever you go to a lake, whether you are in competition or whether you fish on your own individually, you can learn as much from the people that are around you as you can from what you do. And also, you can learn more from not catching than from catching, because when When you catch, it's great. We are all happy because we caught. So let's look at us. You know, we caught yesterday. We have 3, we lost 1, but we caught 3 yesterday. So in the section, we catch most fish yesterday. Today we catch nothing. Why? Do we change tactics? Yes, we do change tactics, but yesterday we found out what is good. What we need to know now is what is not so good, because I'm not thinking about today or tomorrow, I'm thinking about next year. And we have to think about what will happen next year. So in my mind, if our tactic doesn't work, then what do? We now think we have a tactic that will work. And we think we have an approach that will work for not to win, but it will be competitive. We have to work on it, but we think we have a strategy. Now, this is our A game. If the A game doesn't work, what do? We need a B game. And there are 2 ways of solving a problem. You start at the beginning and work to the end, or you start at the end and work backwards. Either way, you can follow the journey through. So, in my mind, it is equally as important to work out what does not work as opposed to what does work. Because if we know this works, if it goes, what do? You go for your other plans. What's the other plan? Is it something that works? If you're not sure and you pick something up that doesn't work, your game is finished. So what we now need to do is we need to work out what doesn't work. So next year, if we have to change, we pick the correct thing, not the wrong thing. Do you understand me? It's complicated, but
yes.
And you know, people will watch this and think this is crazy. You are trying not to catch fish. No, I'm not trying not to catch fish, but I'm observing what does not catch fish. And every nation has its own individual ways that it does things. You Ukrainian guys, you're very good at long-range fishing with short rigs, small sticks, small boilies, fishing long range. You are probably the best in the world at this method of fishing. If you look at the Romanian anglers are very good with soluble boilies. They fish boilie long range with soluble. If you look at England, we are very good with PVA bags. If you look at the French, they are very, very good when they fish pellets. So if it's a pellet match, the French will be the favourites. If it's a PVA bag match, the English team will be the favourite. If it's long range with small sticks, Ukraine will be the favourites. I can learn a lot.
What about Croatia?
Well, Croatia are they've been consistently very good for a long time. Croatia. Statistically, they're very, very good, you know. And I think Croatia probably their main benefit is that they are so strong in everything they do. You know, they don't give up. If you watch Croatia fishing, they never stop.
And never stop. Major weaknesses.
Not really. They have quite a wide breadth of understanding. So I have a saying that I say in England a lot, and we discuss it with the team as well. The problem is we don't know what the problem is. Yeah? You understand it?
Yes.
But when you know what the problem is, you can solve it. So the key thing for me today is let's find out what our problem is.
But you are trying. You are gathering information.
Exactly.
That's
so this is the idea for this competition, not to win the competition, but to understand all of the problems. Because when we have the problems, we can understand the solution. But, you know, to come to a competition, and we did it in France, you know, with the French World Cup in 2016. We went for a practice. There was a big event like this, and we won it. We won first in section B. Overall, we win first and second. It's great. We made a big mistake winning that competition, and the big mistake wasn't winning. It was not understanding what the problems were, because we had such a good time. We got everything so right. When it came to the competition, it was different. And we had a different set of problems, and we didn't solve the problem. So you need to understand what the problem is.
What about new South African team? They are 5-time world champions.
Yes, yeah. Very good.
They changed completely the national team.
Yeah, they change a lot. They have a very strict qualification criteria in South Africa.
Very strong.
Very, you know, they're good anglers. They're very strong anglers, but they have a big disadvantage. when they come to Europe, because it's so expensive and difficult to get the equipment over. And also, you know, if you look at this Ukrainian lake here, it tells you a lot. There is a lot of mud. The way the fish feed will be different to the way the fish feed will in a river. Look at the lakes that we've been to so far over the last 5 years. Let's look at, for example, South Africa last year. Very sandy. Okay, so the bottom is very sandy.
But also very big venue.
Very big, but a lot of very small fish.
Yes.
Look at Serbia. It's an
No fish at all.
old river. Yeah, old river. Gravel, man-made, a lot of stone, very few fish. Hungary, similar to this. Not quite the same, but similar to this. Muddy, wide. You know, Ukraine did very well there as well. Let's look at, prior to that, France. A big reservoir, but stone on the bottom of the lake. Then we go to Spain, a river, completely different again. So they've all been very different types of venues. So you have to understand the venue, I think, as well as the tactics you use on it.
So have you found anything decent on the bottom? So
There's a lot of mud.
maybe you found some mussels or hard spots or
yeah,
drop-offs or
there's-
something else.
Yeah, there's a lot that you can find out there. There's a lot of mud. Some places are muddy, some places are harder.
Not like in Africa.
No, it's not the same. In Africa, it's sand, and it's, you know, everywhere is the same. You get some small things, but most of it is the same.
250 meters of the flat bottom.
Flat bottom, yeah. So you make a feature with food. Here it's a little bit different because sometimes the mud is this deep, sometimes it's this deep. There is some weed in here, which is a very strange weed. I never see it before. Very, very sharp, very hard. So, you know, there's lots of different things out there. And I think, you know, different fish feed in different ways on that mud.
Are you fishing further than your competitors, closest competitors?
We fish both. So Carl is a very long caster. So if we need to fish at 200 meters, we can fish at 200 meters. I am not so long, but I find a feature close in at 80 meters. So there is a nice feature for me at 80 meters, but the guys on...
That's a drop-off, yes?
Little drop-off and some weed, yes. And the guys on this side, they are fishing maybe, I think, 120 meters, and the guys on that side maybe 140 meters. So, you know, when you have this on either side of you, there is always a tendency that you want to go further. So if we need to go further, obviously with Carl we can go further, and I can work on strategic areas inside. But the weather has changed so much that it's very difficult to spot a pattern.
Do you think that fish is not active and you shouldn't feed a lot because of that? So what's your tactics about feeding?
The fish will always tell you when they want to be fed. This is always the case. You put the food on the table and they will tell you when they want more. And I think this is one of the keys that we have to remember. Sometimes you can just feed and feed and feed and feed. You put too much in, it's finished.
But now it's inactivity period after the rain, yesterday's rain.
Well, we had on Sunday and Monday morning, we had 31 degrees and 27 degrees. And on Tuesday, we have a lot of rain Monday night, and on Tuesday we have 15 degrees. So the water temperature
now it's probably 22.
Dropped very quickly.
22.
Yeah, you know, this is air temperature, but the water temperature will change maybe a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 degrees, but a drop of 2 degrees.
But also pressure changes.
Yeah, it's going up now. It was low pressure earlier today. So, you know, this afternoon, and it's very interesting you say that, the air pressure is rising. Now we start to see grass carp being caught. This morning and last night, I don't think there were so many grass carp. I don't know because I can't see. For what, me? For grass carp?
Yes.
No.
Did you try maybe zig?
We tried grass carp method on Monday afternoon when the sun was good, but when the low pressure came in, we stopped. So
you tried zig or what?
We've tried zig, yeah. We've caught nothing on zig.
No bites,
so,
no signals.
No.
Okay. So what maybe you tell about some rigs or something like that?
Yeah, I haven't worked rigs out completely yet because I think there are choices. It's, you know, look, it's difficult. I have something I think will work, but obviously we don't want to say anything about what it is.
That's good.
So
that's okay.
It's a difficult one, but look, there's no secret when you walk down the bank stretch. that there are a lot of people fishing similar things.
Yes, but
So
what I saw, they almost all teams are using running rig when the fish is not active.
Yeah.
That's what I saw right now.
Yeah.
Before I came to your sector.
Yeah, short rigs.
Yeah,
So,
short rigs
yeah.
with a short running rig
Yeah.
with a small pop up and
And that's it. So this seems to be across the board. So there is no secret in that. It's how you apply that will make the difference. This is the key. So we'll see.
We're planning several practices next year.
Yes.
There will be commercial tournaments and our championships. So are you planning to come?
I would like to come again. It's a long way to come, for us. I was lucky. I flew with my team, but Terry, our driver, I think it was 28 hours in the car. So it's a long way to drive with the equipment, and it took him 8 hours to cross the border as well with the paperwork for customs. So logistics. It's a long time. So without the correct bait, without the bivvies, the bed chairs and equipment, it's hard. But I would like to come back. Maybe I'll just come and look.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about fishing in England, because there were so much questions. I received more than 100 questions about
really
yes, about how you fish in England and which venues you have. You had a world championship in England.
Yes, we had a world championship at Linear Fisheries in England. I think it was 2011, was it?
It was very interesting.
Yes.
It was on 3 lakes.
3 different lakes, because we only have small lakes in England. There isn't this big, nothing. In England, we only have small lakes. For carp, there is nothing this big.
You had 3 zones on 3 different.
3 different lakes, yes, but they are next door to each other because they are gravel pits. Gravel pits where they dig the gravel out.
Yes.
So in an area, a lot of the time when there is gravel, they dig lots of lakes. So the lakes were all next door to each other. So it was an interesting competition, that one.
Yes,
it was before my time, so I don't. I know the lakes very well, but I wasn't in the squad then. But yeah, this is a beautiful lake because it seems very natural. It's quite wild. Ours are very man-made, very manicured, very managed. We have, if you have a lake of 5 hectares, which would be 12 acres, it would be quite possible 5 hectares to have 20 people fishing in a circle around
heavy
it.
Pressing.
Very, very heavy pressure. So the difference that we have is that our fish always are under pressure. There are always problems trying to find a good place, because if this is a good place, somebody is in a queue behind and they say, when do you leave? I will camp here for 1 day. So they arrive on Saturday to sit in the lake behind you to wait for you to move so they can come in. It's crazy sometimes.
I heard some interesting things about your national championship, that you have interesting selection system.
Yes, yeah.
For the national team.
Yes, I have complete choice on who comes into the national team. The national governing body have appointed me as the manager, and it works in exactly the same way as a football team. So I can look around at anybody that I think is good, call them to training. If I think they are good enough, then they come into the squad. If I want to keep the same team for 5 years, I keep the same team. I don't need to change.
But don't you think the team needs to be played together for some time for they to show better results? It's
always better. There's no substitute for experience, and there's no substitute for being together as a unit, because you share information more. The problem with competitions a lot of the time to decide individual team members is they don't share information, because you and I will compete against each other here, and if we win, we come together in the national team later on. So I don't tell you my secrets, because if I tell you my secret today, then next year when we compete against each other, you will know my secrets. So when they go into the national team, they don't share information as much as they should do. But this is the manager's job, really, to decide which information should be told, which should be kept back.
It's a pretty unique system, because other countries have like a
qualification process. Yeah, I know Croatia do, France do, I think you guys do. I think most nations have a qualification criteria. England doesn't, Wales doesn't, Scotland doesn't. So the way that we work, we can choose. The individual managers can choose who they want to have in the squad, which is why you see the same guys coming back again, because Carl, I think, is in his this will be his 4th event. When you come for the first time, you're very nervous. Of course, it's natural. So I have Jamie, the guy that's on the other side over there. He has been in the team for, I think, 9 years. So he's had a lot of experience at international level. Can you imagine being in his position if you were a new guy now? You come to a practice, we discuss what I would like him to try, and he catches nothing. How would you feel if you were in his position? You would be very nervous, exactly. But he is absolutely sure about himself. There is no problem.
But this happens every time you go fishing to a new venue.
Yeah, it's no problem.
You think
No problem. Because if he is catching nothing and he's trying lots of different things and still catching nothing, for me, it's great. It's really, really good because he is learning for us. Because I would much prefer to make the mistake today, yesterday, and tomorrow than in 1 year's time. Because if we make this mistake in 1 year's time, it's a problem. And this isn't a mistake, it's training. So we train to find out what is good and also what is bad.
You still can have several more attempts next year.
Yes, of course.
We're lucky that championship is a year from this moment.
Yeah. There's plenty of time to come back and have a look, but again, logistically, it's very difficult. It's very expensive. We have no sponsorship funding.
You know, we had an interesting discussion with our feeder team recently. They are primarily fishing for a bream on rivers.
Yes.
And the interesting thing in Ukraine is that typically bream doesn't react on the fish meal stuff in the river. You can get like an opposite effect from this.
Can you?
Typically the ground baits and everything tend to be sweet or just live components.
Okay.
So, but I watched a number of English films. I saw the breams like 4-5 kilos you catch on the
all the time
flat
fish
feeder
meal
or method feeder on the rivers and lakes, and you have big barbel catching on the fish meal stuff.
Oh, they love fish meal. Yeah.
So that's not like just a cinema. So that's in real life.
It's true. Yeah, of course it's true. Yeah.
They were excited. Our feeder guys are excited to see this. This happens.
Oh, fish meal is the best.
They're even jealous that you have this kind of thing.
Look, one of the big things that we all have to learn is that different countries have different styles of fishing, and different fish in different countries prefer to feed differently. So, you know, if you come to England, the pressure and also the way the fish feed is very different to the way the fish feed here. And the most important thing that you have over in England, I think, really is good bait is important, but presentation is more important. When you go to South Africa, it's flavours. It's so important. You can cast almost anywhere, with almost anything, with almost any rig, but it's the flavour that's the most important thing. If you go to Romania, for example, it may be the distance, or it may be the type of soluble boilie that you're using, which is the key. So every country has its own individual characteristics that we need to work out to be able to move around. And you can say that not just about countries, but you can say that about lakes. Because if you fish in this lake, it will have one characteristic. If you fish in the lake on the other side of Ukraine, it's different.
Yes.
So the weather is different, the tactics are different, the pressure is different, the fish are different. They also get conditioned. You know, if people are feeding here the same bait all the time, then the fish will understand that it's good. Eventually they will turn around and think, oh, it's dangerous, because every time we eat it we get caught. So they move on to a different bait. So, you know, it's understanding that.
Okay, thank you, Rob. You shared a lot of information.
No problem.
Many anglers in Ukraine, I think everyone probably sees you as a legend. That's honor for us to see you here and to talk to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
And good luck with the tournament.
Thank you. Cool.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Brilliant.